Hello, good evening, everyone that's watching. We're still on the bad. Am I on? Here we go. Yeah. Hello, everyone that's up this late wherever I am. Well, wherever everyone is, it's late where I am kind of for a live stream. It's 9 o'clock. I've been trying to make sure that I do all my live streams on the Sunday, so it is very late. Thank you, everyone, for putting up with the camera lately. We're still on this. I'm looking at it right now. This weird like you can't buy a proper webcam anywhere at the moment. I've been saying it for weeks, and it's super annoying. So we're still on the MacBook Pro 720p camera, and I'm sure that it doesn't come through as 720p for everyone that watches. So thank you, everyone, for putting up with that and just listening to my my voice. Pretty much, I know the visuals aren't that great, so I'm still looking for a camera. I mean, I'd like to make all the content on this channel as good as possible. So I let a few people come in. We've got Jason, Sarah, Kaz, we've got Xenomorph. For quite a few people. We'll probably get quite a few different people in today, which would be pretty cool because I've been doing these more at like lunchtime where I am, and now I'm doing them at night. So it'll be a whole bunch of different people that are able to watch this because, yeah. So we'll see how everyone's going. We've got some questions already. Anyone who wants to ask questions, just chuck them in, and I'll try and answer them. What else has been going on? And I'll be talking about today as well, I guess, what's been going on because I guess it doesn't feel like it, or it might not seem like it to you guys, but I feel like I've been making less videos, even though it seems like I'm still making the same amount. So it's been because I've been like, I don't know, when you're working on different projects, your focus kind of gets split up and it's hard to stay on one thing. Now, obviously I'm going to continue to make videos. That's like not an option. I want to keep making videos. It might come down to 1 or 2 a week instead of 3 or 4, which it was at, which I think it's fine. I don't know. Let me know in the chat what you guys think about that. But just so that I can work on some other stuff and then kind of come back to making quite a lot more content. But doesn't mean the quality is going to be going down. I'm probably just going to have to spend a bit more time on some other projects and, I mean, keep the quality of the videos the same, but just maybe 1 or 2 in a week. I'd like to say 2 or 3, but I can't make that promise. So already got some questions. I saw someone talking about the Broncos, which would be a great way to start the stream off. A lot of people here probably aren't from Australia. If you are, and you watch the NRL, you know all the news about the Broncos. So the NRL is like the Australian version of, I don't know, if you're in America, football. So it's rugby. There's different kinds of rugby. This is rugby league. And the team I go for, sadly, is the Broncos. I've gone for them since I was a little kid. And I watch all the matches, and pretty much with any Brisbane team, except for the female teams, I'm pretty disappointed every time I watch. So, yeah, they lost their 5th game in a row, and they lost to one of the arguably worst teams in the competition, and they lost by quite a bit. So I wasn't too happy. Yeah. But what else we got going on here? We've got, there's quite a few different names that I'm seeing, so that's really, really cool. Am I planning on doing breeding Corys, that is? Yeah, so that's still underway, but I guess I should probably start off the stream. I kind of want to just say hi to everyone that's here because I really do appreciate everyone coming. So Brad, Peter, Nathan, Joey, said hi to some of the other guys here. So really, really do appreciate it. Like, I'm still completely shocked that people want to listen to my voice like live. I feel like, I don't know, it's very strange for me to get my head around it, but thank you so much everyone that comes and watches these. So yeah, Gold Coast are doing amazing. Yeah, they're doing pretty good, like the Gold Coast footy teams. The Suns are doing all right. I don't know how they played this weekend, but I'm talking about the AFL obviously, but they've been winning quite a bit. So yeah, Cowboys are the best Queensland team. Yeah, they might not be if they lose their coach, but I don't know, none of the Queensland teams are doing well. Anyways, right, so I guess what there is to talk about is, so the reason I'm going to probably start making less videos, less videos, I don't know. is because basically lately, I don't know how many people here are new to the channel. Like if you're new, hi. We've got quite a lot of new people that have started subscribing, and the channel's been growing tremendously. Like I'm completely like in shock that there's as many people that have been watching some of the newer videos that I've been making and really enjoying them. And like, I mean, I've always said it, I'm not about the numbers. Like for me, this is just about me enjoying my hobby, making really cool videos, and then enjoying it myself. And then I feel like some other people can start to enjoy it. So since it's been growing, obviously that means that YouTube's been paying me more. And like, it's the biggest thing that's been a challenge with this. Is there no sound? Can you guys hear me? I got a comment that says no sound. Okay, I just got pranked really hard there. So yeah, so the biggest challenge with this channel has always been tank space, because we primarily do a lot of things with breeding and I guess educational videos, you could say. I do some little bits of entertaining stuff, but mostly like the educational stuff. We need a lot of tank space, and I'm a 19-year-old. I live at home. I'm limited completely by what mum's going to let me take into the house. And I'm very lucky that I've got as many tanks as I have. I know there's a lot of people that don't have as many tanks as me. So yeah, I'm going to try and adjust this a little bit better. Try and get a bit. There's a lot of people who don't have as many tanks as me. And so I've got 8. And I mean, I've pretty much made all the breeding series that I can at the moment with the tank space that I have. So I've been talking about it for ages. There's tons of breeding things that I want to do. And what we need to do it is more tank space. So I guess what's underway is me trying to use some of that YouTube growth and move it into somewhere where I can actually move all of my tanks, get a couple more tanks, and I mean, like, not my own, I don't know, maybe like, I can't give away too much, because if I've been talking about this last stream too, if I tell you guys all of my plans and they don't go through, it's super, super embarrassing. And then I kind of like, I don't want to be like backtracking what I say. So basically I'm looking to move all my tanks somewhere, get more tanks, and basically make like a YouTube studio, because the growth has been incredible. I'm just, yeah, super amazed. And so that's been taking a lot of time up, because it might not seem like it, but trying to find places to do things is very tricky. Trying to set up more tanks, planning out what you want to do, might not, it's not, I'm not complaining by any means. I love to have like these problems. Like, these are in my perfect world problems. That can take a lot of time, and some other stuff can also take a lot of time. So it's not like frustrating at all, but I'm like absolutely loving it. It's just that I'm not trying to complain either. I'm like working very hard to keep keeping fish simple, like keep giving you guys heaps of content and doing all the breeding and stuff like that. So it's just that time has to be spent on that, and it takes away from doing videos. So if you guys don't mind, I'll probably be doing, I'm definitely not going to go under 1 video a week. I'm going to keep going weekly. That's the thing. I don't want to not upload on a Sunday at 7 a.m. my time. So that's going to keep happening. I'll keep trying to do a weekly in the middle of the week video, but yeah. So that's kind of what's underway. It's not like, I can't tell you guys too much. It's very frustrating because I hate hiding stuff from you, like all of you. I'm not hiding stuff. I just don't want to embarrass myself if it doesn't go through. So yeah. I can see a lot of people don't mind if we do 1 video a week, which is pretty good. So yeah, it's like, I would make a ton more if I had infinite hours to do everything, but it's just not like that. So if you guys want to ask any questions, I'll start answering them too, because I mean, if you want to ask any questions about what I've just said, like, feel free to ask anything, because we're literally just here to talk about fish. I mean, whatever else we talk about, footy. I'm drinking tea, by the way. I don't know how many of you guys have been around for some of the other streams. Today we're drinking this chai tea, just black tea. And it's been super good. I've been drinking tea straight before bed, and I don't know what it is. It's just so like I think it's more mental. It's like my brain kind of starts to put itself to sleep. So it could be something for you to consider to have before bed. Have a cup of tea. It's so nice. So I've got one. How do you get rid of nitrate? So that's normally an indicator of a bunch of things. First of all, it could be your tank's not cycled properly, which means there's not enough bacteria in the tank, and that's why you're getting spikes and stuff. And it can also be like your tank's overstocked and you've got an imbalance because of that. I've noticed too, you can get nitrate spikes. Yeah, I'm mute this. Sorry. You can get nitrate from your if you add fish to an aquarium that's already cycled, but you add a ton of them. Like I've done that before, and like I've added a bunch of new fish to a pre-existing aquarium, and they just produce a bunch of waste and cause a quick spike. My best method, the best thing to do, in my opinion, is to add live plants. I just add a ton of floating plants, and they normally can start to suck up a lot of those nitrates and stuff like that. So hopefully that can help you. It kind of, if you give it enough time and you kind of make sure it's not lethal, it normally sorts itself out. I mean, like I try and talk about it as much as I can. And it's not, these aren't like my principles. These are all principles I've learned from other people, but nature always finds a way. So just, I mean, you can't really have huge nitrate spikes if you've got really sensitive fish, but normally like guppies would be all right. Yeah. How are the cories? The cories are good. I've just got my third tank, thinking about getting plants for stability. What do you suggest? So do stuff that grows real quick. Do water sprite, float it on the top. That's one of my favorites to do. Water wisteria is really good. What else could you do? Most of the time you want like floating plants. They work way better than the stuff that sticks in the substrate. Duckweed's a really good one. Some of the other classic floating plants are really good too. Yeah, we've got tons of tea. Not tea. Sorry, tea comment. I got confused. Got tons of new people in here. It's pretty cool. I'm glad to see everyone coming in. Do I still make my bread? I still make bread. Yeah, that's been an interesting little hobby that I picked up from the COVID staying home stuff. I learned how to make bread, which is something everyone on this stream should give a try. It's probably one of the most satisfying things you can make. I'm not a huge cook. I mean, I enjoy cooking as much as everyone else does, but I made bread for the first time, and I made it from sourdough. So I didn't use yeast or anything. I had to get like wild yeast, and it was one of the most satisfying things to make. It's the most simple thing to make. It's bread. I mean, it's flour, water, and salt, but man, it was so satisfying. So yeah. What do you think of Matt Rowell? I have no clue who that is. Would I dip my toe into salt water? Not for some time. I've still got so much that I still want to do with fresh water, and I feel like I wouldn't be being honest with myself. Like if I did do salt water, because it's not something that I feel like I want to do yet. It's not like like I'm not scared of doing it. I feel like I'm definitely going to be capable of doing it, but I don't know. There's still so many freshwater fish that I need to breed, and videos that I want to make on the freshwater stuff and teach people. So, yeah, I would at some point probably. I mean, I don't even know at some point, but I don't even know if I'll make videos by the time I get around to it. So yeah, still coffee in the morning. Yep, I'm still drinking coffee in the morning. I've always done that. That's I don't know. You guys we should start talking about that, because that has been something that kind of seems a bit controversial lately. And I've noticed a lot of people, well, before this virus, when I was out and about a bit more, and everyone else was too, I noticed a lot of people stopped drinking coffee, to stop having caffeine and stuff like that. Now, look, I don't have a problem with caffeine. I think that, I mean, it kind of, I'm not addicted to caffeine, but, and I could live without it. But I mean, I do really enjoy drinking coffee, and it's kind of like an interesting ritual. But what does everyone else think about like caffeine? Because I know that a lot of people will be like, in the morning, if they don't have coffee or something like that, it does bring them down a lot. For me, it's not the case. I just kind of like, it's just a habit. But I know for a lot of people, like if they don't have coffee, then it's a bit like, they can be a bit like irritable. So that's definitely not me, but yeah. Man, we've got so many questions. If you like, yeah, I'm trying to get through them all. Am I freezing? I don't want to be freezing because, yeah, my internet's been pretty sucky lately too. So, yeah. What kind of tea does everyone drink, by the way, too? I mean, I've got the chai tea, obviously. This is like a vanilla type. And if you put sugar in it, then you'll obviously taste tons more stuff, but I don't put sugar in my tea. So you got to kind of like, I don't know. I don't want to sound like silly, but you got to like try and taste a bit more. But yeah, the chai's been awesome. It's really like a little like raspberry tea, and that's been amazing. That one's really good. There's like a lemon and ginger one. Anyone who drinks tea, start dropping it in. Got Lipton, green tea. Oh, green tea. I drink green tea too. English breakfast. What else? Hot chocolate. Yeah, I like hot chocolate too. It's really, really nice, hot chocolate. Especially in winter, man. Nothing better. New York breakfast tea. Licorice tea. I've never heard of that. Mint tea. Drink hot water. Yeah, I actually had I was talking about that to someone this week. Apparently people drink hot water. It's like I think it's like an Asian cultural thing, but I'm not too sure. Like I know for a fact that it never quenches my thirst drinking warm water, but I think I don't know if I'm right, but I think that some people genuinely like some cultures genuinely do drink warm water, and that's like a cultural thing. I don't know if it is so. I could be completely wrong. So I'm not trying to like, yeah, it is, I think. I find that super interesting because I've just been grown up drinking cold water. And if I have warm water, I can drink as much of it as I want, but I won't have my thirst quenched. But if I had like, I guess probably the opposite for people that drink warm water, but that's pretty interesting. But yeah, we've got so many tea drinkers. What are those things on my door? Those are hats. It's a weird hat collection. I don't collect hats. I've just accumulated them over the years. Apparently it's the hot water that wakes you up and not the caffeine. I wouldn't be surprised. But it also puts you to sleep if you drink it with your tea. But yeah. Oh, there was one more thing I wanted to talk about earlier in the live stream, and that's live fish shipping. That has been super, super tricky lately because it's been super cold in Australia. So anyone who was thinking about ordering fish from me, I haven't closed it down yet on the Keeping Fish Simple site, but please don't for now because I'll have to probably cancel a lot of live fish orders. I can do plants and I can do other stuff, but I can't do live fish, and that's going to be probably something that's not going to come back for quite a bit of time, probably until like till spring when it starts to get a bit warmer and there's less risk shipping stuff, but also because it takes a long time to ship live fish out. And the reason is because you got to cut boxes, you got to get it all ready, got to book a courier, got to wake up early on a Monday, which I don't have a problem with. You got to wake up early and catch all the fish. So it takes a lot of time that needs to be put into other projects. So I'm probably not going to be shipping fish for, I don't know, a couple of months. No, I wouldn't say a couple of months. Back when the epistogrammas are back, I'll probably put them back up. But it's just been so tricky, and it's been a good learning process for me because, I mean, like I'm learning about how to ship fish. I mean, like it's pretty valuable for what I'm doing right now. So, yeah, I've been experimenting with it, but I'm not going to be probably keeping it up for a little bit longer. It doesn't mean I won't be doing it in the future, but I'm probably going to have to end it now. But I'm thinking about upping and getting more plants and dry goods on the store. So like just classic things like the flakes that I use and all that kind of stuff, just your general kind of goods, and maybe do them instead of the fish for now. But just as I'm doing and moving on, like trying to get my tanks out of here, I definitely won't be able to ship fish, and not while it's cold. If it was summer, I'd probably still make the time, but yeah. So that was one thing I wanted to say. That was it. Now I'm going to go back to answering questions. These are the funniest streams. I don't even know where they come from, like what happens in my head, but we've got so many people commenting. I'm just trying to answer some questions. So yeah, hey, do you know any way to get blue and pink ramshorn snails? I'd go on eBay. I think a lot of people sell snails on eBay because it's definitely easier to ship snails and fish. So go order all his fish before he stops it. Please don't, because I have to pay fees on all the returns. So that's pretty annoying. But do I ever get rocks and wood from outside? If so, how do you clean it? Yeah, actually I do. So this could be, hopefully this is valuable to some of you guys, but what I do isn't rocket science at all. I remember when this would have been like the first couple of months when I started out on YouTube. This is back, way back, like 3 years ago. I didn't have I didn't have a car, so I couldn't drive anywhere, but I also didn't have any money. And driftwood's kind of like one of those weird expensive goods. Now, yes, you're buying a stick, but you don't, so it costs a lot to get them to you. And then they also have to make a profit at the local fish store. So that's why wood costs a lot. So anyways, I was like, I don't know, in my area, like some logs cost up to $25. You can get them real cheap at like auctions and stuff like that. But I just wanted wood because I wanted to lower tannins and stuff like that. So I went across to the park, found a couple of pieces like gumwood. I actually found firewood from a firewood stack that I have at my house, and I found all the nice pieces. And literally all I did was I got mum's big pots, filled it up with water, and boiled the heck out of it. I just boiled it so hard and so long. And it was annoying. Like, mum wasn't impressed that I was using her kitchen to boil driftwood, but I was boiling a ton of it. And that's what I use. So I've still got a couple of pieces of it. I use some of it in my pleco tanks still. And it's just firewood, some of it. And at the start, it releases a lot of tannin, but if you boil it for long enough, it slowly starts to release less. But the tannin's really good for a lot of aquariums and a lot of fish. Some fish won't like it, like your African cichlids and all that kind of stuff. But a lot of your South American cichlids and fish are going to absolutely love it. So I don't have a problem with it. The reason you can the best thing about boiling it is it kills anything in it. So it becomes like, you can use it in your aquarium, and that's my opinion on it. So if you want to do that, there's no problem with that. You can also boil rocks and stuff like that, but heaps of stuff. I think heaps of like aquarium keepers, if they've got access to good hardscape, I mean, like, why not use it? I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It all comes out of the wild anyway. So hopefully that can help you, because you can save a lot of money on a setup if you can find stuff like that. That's a really good way to save money. Can you keep epistogrammas in a 5-gallon? No, Locksmith, you can't. Nah. You have to, I'd say 20 gallons at least. They need a bit of space. And 5 gallons is definitely too small. Is having 4 dwarf gouramis, 15 neon tetras, and 2 baby albino plecos in a 65-litre tank okay? I say it's okay, yeah, for now. Maybe 4 dwarf gouramis could be a bit intense, but I don't see any problem. You're probably maxed out, though, with how much you can put in that aquarium from now on. Do you have any other animals but fish? Yeah, I've got a dog right here. Oh, wake up. My dog's Scruffy. I've got a dog, and I've also got a lizard and some other stuff. That's it. Oh, we've got like chickens as well and ducks, which live together. It's really weird, but yeah, that's what I've got. What else have we got? We got 42 people. This is crazy. This is heaps of people. I've never had this many people. Do I breed German blue rams? I do not yet. No, I plan on breeding them because they are one of like the fish that I really want to do. They're very similar in breeding, I believe, to you want to hop back on the bed? They're very. Hopefully she doesn't decide that she must go downstairs because I have to open the door. But they're very similar to the epistogrammas, like in the breeding ways, because they're both dwarf cichlids. That's not too distracting. Yeah. They're very, very similar to, the dwarfs, like the epistogrammas. So I don't think I'd have a challenge with it. I think they can be quite a bit easier. One of the things I've been told is, though, you can't, super distracting. Look at her. Sorry about that. I see the comments. No one's even commenting on it. She's trying to get under the sheets, I think. No, she can find her own way to do it. I can't remember what I was talking. One of the things I've noticed Stop it. Hey, you're distracting me. I can't focus on one thing. I'm so sorry. One of the things I have noticed about the German Blue Rams is that a lot of them that come from like where the farms and stuff like that have actually been raised on steroids, which isn't a joke. They get them jacked up on a bunch of drugs and they come over so they have more color and they grow quicker. And it can stuff up a lot of breeding. Some of them become like infertile, and also just the quality isn't good. Like you wouldn't want it's just not good to breed a fish that's been raised like that. So I kind of want to find like a local breeder before I do it. I know that for a fact. Bobby, who lives in the area, who comments, he's always in the streams, which is awesome. He's been breeding them, and we have to pick up some from him because I don't want drug ones. You done? Yeah. Yeah. That's the fun about having dogs. Yeah. Wow, I've got so many comments. Do you like breeding Crebensis cichlids? I think they're pretty cool. I want to breed them in a 10-gallon and then keep them in a 55-gallon. Yeah, that's a good idea. So maybe I'd bump it up to a 20-gallon. You can probably do it in a 10-gallon. The size difference obviously isn't that much of a problem with them. That would be really cool. If you're breeding them for fun, definitely do it. But if you're trying to make a bit of profit, try and find someone that's going to buy them, because you can breed a ton of them and they won't sell for much. So that's just in my area, but they can be a heap of fun, especially if you just started into wolf cichlids. How are the neon fry going? That was one thing I wanted to say. Yeah, they're going good. I have like 15, I think. I might have lost like 2 along the way. They're just in one of the grow out tanks. I wasn't that happy with the breeding on them, and I've still got a lot to do with them. I think I don't know what it is, what makes them so hard to breed. I think, first of all, the water parameters and also getting them to spawn can be a bit tricky. Another thing too that I've noticed is not even getting them to spawn, it's just getting the eggs to hatch. They get, like, lots of them are white, and I think it's like calcium on the eggs and stuff like that can really ruin it. But they're going all right. I might use those fry as my next breeding stock, because I know that for a fact they're not coming from a farm and they're going to be raised in tap water. So they're going to be raised in in tap water. That's my tap water. So they've probably got a way better chance of breeding properly instead of the ones that have come from the farm. So that's probably how I'll do it. How much would you sell discus fry for 6 to 7 centimeters? Probably like, I don't know. I can't give you a number. Just do a little bit of market research. Go and have a look at what everyone else is selling them for. And don't what you'll find is with expensive fish, if you sell them too cheap, people will just take them and take them for cheap off of you privately. And then they'll go to like your local fish store and hand them in for store credit, and they'll get free store credit by making a profit. So be careful about that. Do a bit of research and try and find out. Make a video about flower horns. I don't have any flower horns, so I can't make a video about it, but I would if I did. HC Aqua's in. Thanks again, because I've still got to I've got to give HC credit for letting me use his guppy footage. He's got some amazing guppies, and I don't have any guppies at the moment, so I needed to use it for a video quite a bit back, but I do appreciate that a lot. I've probably said that every time he's come in, but it did mean a lot to me, so thank you. Do I keep any native fish? I don't think I'd say, yeah, the rainbow fish are kind of native. They come from the same area, but not specifically natives. What else? Have you ever tried a deep substrate Wallstad method? I kind of have. I'd say the dwarf cichlid, the epistogramma tank that I've got is pretty similar to a Wallstad, except it's got a filter. So yeah, I can definitely say a deep substrate definitely does help a lot. Aquariums with deep substrates have a ton of beneficial bacteria in it. It makes it super easy to take care of them. Yeah. Doesn't TDS affect some fish and their ability to fertilize? Yeah, for sure. So that's one of the things I've noticed is some fish, if you've watched any of the Epistogramma breeding project series, you would have seen firsthand that I got like 90 and then 90 eggs in the first batch and then 110 eggs in the second batch. Before that, I'm not joking, I was getting about 30 to 40 eggs. So the thing I did was I added rainwater and it instantly bumped up the amount of eggs that she was producing and the amount of eggs that were getting fertilized. So yeah, like the amount of TDS affects heaps of fertility rates with tetras, I've noticed too. Like if it's got too low of a TDS, it doesn't get them to hatch. And also if it's got too high of a TDS, it gets them to hatch, but not as many. So it's like, it's very annoying. You should keep some pseudomoguls, my favorites. Yeah, I should do them. You can put them in ponds too here, which would be really, really cool. But yeah, like I've said, the biggest problem is the tank space. So hopefully we can sort that out and start making quite a few more videos and entertaining everyone. What do you think about getting a pair of expensive guppies to breed for profit? Is it a good idea or no? So, like, yes, on paper, it might seem like a really, really good idea. And I'm like 95% of the time going to say, yeah, that's like a really, really good idea. But one thing is just make sure that you're going to be able to like sell everything. Like try and get as confident as you can with selling a product before you make it, because that's going to kill you in the business. I doubt you're not going to be able to breed them. So it's just the business is going to fall apart if you're not able to sell them at the end. And it's going to also be super, like you're not going to be encouraged to keep going if you can't sell them. But try and find out, like suss out from your local fish store, like because you and the local fish store have to make money at the end of the day. It's not just about you. But yeah, like it is a good idea, and it's definitely like better than trying to breed, I don't know, just like some really assorted ugly guppies. Try and get something that looks really, really cool. But I'll let you know, a lot of people just that fish that have high demand are fish that look really, really good that are also cheap. Those are the ones everyone wants. Like, so hopefully that can help you out a bit. Oh, one sec. What YouTube fish keepers do you watch? MD Fish Tanks are my favorite. I've seen a few of MD's videos. They're pretty cool. He's got like some angelfish and stuff like that. I don't get recommended his videos as much as I think I should be. But yeah. I watch him and I watch like pretty much everyone else. I think everyone here, anyone that you're watching, I probably watch too. So your intake on impulse buying when starting off with breeding and your opinion on how to set up a breeding room. So that's one thing I've been doing lately. I've been hoarding tons of different species if I get my hands on them. So like I've been hoarding heaps of plecos. I've got like the leopard frog L134s and I've got L201s and I've also got some chocolate zebras on the way, which are the L270s. So I've been hoarding tons of stuff. I've also been trying to hoard like the best looking angelfish fry for my next brood stock and all kinds of stuff. So I've been not panic buying. That's not the right word. I've been like, impulse buying tons of stuff. I don't have a problem with it as long as it's not cause like financial detriment. I mean, you make money too. I mean, like I'm all about investing and saving for the future. But at the end of the day, we all do make money to spend on stuff that we enjoy. So how to set up a breeding room, I don't know if I'm the best person to ask. I think it's about trying to make sure it's trying to get your workflows down. So like, for instance, you want to make sure that every time you produce fry, you have space to put them, because that's where a lot of people kind of slow down production and it stunts a lot of your production leading out. Like if you have, like at the start, you'll fill up all your tanks and then you'll be able to sell fish as quick as you were spawning them. But then if you can't take fish for a certain amount of time, you have to sell all the ones, and then you can have like a big break in between your next stock after you've sold all your initial broods, your initial breeding, like your initial batches, you'll have a break between. It's just, if that makes sense. So yeah. Can you give tips on how to raise baby plecos? So I'd say pretty much the same as the adults. I'd be careful sometimes, like with your with your like L numbered ones, be careful with getting them too big of a food because you don't want to like give them digestion problems. That's where a lot of death comes from. But all the other stuff, just treat it the exact same as the adults. I saw Kaz picked up all the 270s that I wanted. How did they go? I want you to tell me exactly how they went. That was funny. I ran into someone at the local fish store. Can neon tetras recover after ammonia spikes? Yes, so they can. Any fish kind of can. Sometimes we can have like some long-term damage. Like normally I think it burns the gills. So that can take quite a bit of time, but they definitely can. I've had accidents with like Danios and stuff like that in the past where, man, I hate it. It annoys me that I stuffed up, but I'd be lying if I didn't say I stuffed up sometimes. So like ages back, I've talked about this before, like I'd say 6 or 8 months back. It was quite a bit of time ago. I was just breeding. I mean, I wasn't breeding. I was just doing a water change and like I probably was in a rush. I forgot to dechlorinate a tank, came back and we got like fish that have all kinds of problems, and I saved all the Danios that I could. And the ones that I saved took quite a bit of time to come back, but they definitely did come back. So it'd be the same for the neons, and just you got to get them straight into it. Like that's obviously a different issue. This is dechlorinating, but they both, I think, burn the gills. So you should be able to recover them. What's been more rewarding to breed for you? Egg layers or live bearers from HC Aqua? So egg layers for sure, I think, because it takes a little bit more effort. Bearers breed on their own. It's hard. The thing that's good about live bearers is you can just have tons of them pop up. So that's pretty rewarding too. For beginners, I'd say like anything you breed is going to be super rewarding, but the egg layers, unstable. Let's hopefully get back on. I don't want to be talking to no one. Here. Oh, man. Come on, internet. Here, we're back. Yeah, so sorry about the internet. I live in Australia, so we've got worse internet, probably like Yugoslavia or whatever. So, yeah, egg layers, definitely for me. I'd say they're way more rewarding, just in my opinion. How many tanks do you plan on having in the future when you set up your fish room? 200,000. So many. As many as I can get. That's the honest answer. Zebra Danios or neons? It depends what you're after. If you want to breed them, then definitely do the Zebra Danios. But the neons, in my opinion, kind of look a bit better. The Zebra Danios are a lot more fun to feed, though, because they're so quick and darty around. So, yeah. Cacatoides, Epistogramma cacatoides or Epistogramma agassizii? Cacatoides, for sure. Just for now. Just wait till I get some Epistogramma agassizii and then probably be a different story. Well, so many things. I agree on the egg layers because it's harder. It feels good to be able to get them to hatch. That's exactly right. It's a bit more satisfying to look at like a tank of like angelfish than it is to look at like a tank of guppies. I think it's just because it shows like where your fish keeping more like abilities are. If that, it's like cringy, but like where you are as a Jedi almost. That's so cringe, but it's true. Any tips on pulling and raising neon rainbows? Minus spawning. So just get them in the same water that they were being spawned in. Put them into like a container with a bit of warmth, and like don't let them freeze overnight. I've done that before and it just ruins it. Do that, and then the thing is you're going to get hatching over like 7 days. So your biggest fry, like your oldest fry, going to be a week older than the youngest. So the feeding can be a bit annoying, but yeah, just put them in like a little container and try and use some like really, really tiny dust rather than like live foods, because live foods might start to cause problems with eggs that aren't hatched and stuff like that. So do like Hikari first butts are sometimes okay, but they are very, very tiny. But yeah, like I think a lot of people use golden pearls. I want to try them too, but I'm seeing if my cacatoides and agassizii will hybridize just for kicks. I don't know if that will happen. That'd be that. I I don't know. I kind of want to see what happens if you can do that, but I also don't want people to start doing that because otherwise we'll end up like African cichlids and they'll just be like hybrids. And I don't have a problem with like fish that look good, but I'm just such a purist. So how do you get more bacteria in your tank? I wouldn't be looking to get more bacteria. Just be looking to get like equilibrium because like I can have a ton of bacteria, but like 4 fish and there'd be way too much bacteria for the amount of fish that I've got. So you're looking for the equilibrium. You don't want just like a ton of bacteria. That's not what you want. So I don't know. If you need more bacteria, you can obviously buy the cultures, but if you've got like other tanks, grab some of the filter media and squeeze it into the other like between tanks. That's got tons of bacteria in it, and that could help you out. I've got the weird thing going on with my ears where you talk and you talk for a long time. I mean, like 40 minutes isn't that long, but it stuffs with the sinuses. It makes it a bit weird. Any tips on corridores? Super easy fish to take care of. Put them in water. I don't have many tips yet. I've got to think of some stuff. So, I don't know, like just keep them with sand. That's a good tip. You probably already know that. They like a lot of food. That's one thing I've noticed too. But they're a very easy fish to take care of. I haven't suffered any like very few deaths with corridores in the past. What's your thought on dirted tanks? What's your thought on dirted tanks? I think they're really good. They are like a cheap version of using like an 80A soil, which would probably be a little bit more reliable. But people say, but they yeah, they can be very good. Trying to find so many questions. How to breed Harlequin rasboras. Again, I can't tell you from first-hand experience, which I wish I could. That'd be like the ideal for me. I wish I could tell you from first-hand experience. I believe it's pretty similar to neon tetras. So if you've watched that series, that could help you out quite a bit. They are like an egg scatterer. So yeah, you want to like you want to get them to scatter their eggs. I don't know how to like. I wish I could tell you exactly how to do it because then I would tell you. I just think that the method would be very similar to the neon tetras. I don't think you'll need any peat moss and stuff like that, but you will probably need like a way to separate eggs, like a layer of like mesh or something. Get the parents to breed, get the eggs to fall through to the bottom. That's probably how you're gonna have to do it. But yeah, do I like autosynclus? I do. I like autosynclus. They're hard to breed, so I haven't like tried that. But the other thing too I've noticed is that like a lot of them are wild caught, which makes them a little bit more like, first of all, I don't like wild caught fish as much as I do like captive bred because it takes a bit more of a toll on like ecosystem. So I don't really like that. But also the quality of fish aren't as good because they aren't like weathered to aquariums. And yeah, I don't know. I just find that a lot of people have problems with them at the start. Like if you keep an autosynclus, if it's gonna die, it's gonna probably die in the first couple of weeks. And most of the time it's just because they're going into an aquarium from the wild. And that's just my opinion. Like everyone else is gonna have different experiences and all that kind of stuff. Like, but my firsthand experience has just been, it's very frustrating trying to keep them. And yeah. I should start a pond. I probably won't for the time being. I just gotta get some other stuff done, but I definitely would like to. Some people use kitty litter in planted aquariums. What do you think of it? I don't think of it. I've never even heard of that. That's crazy. That seems really, really like cost effective. I don't see any point to doing it because you can get like sand and stuff for free if you're really that desperate. What's the benefit to doing that? Does it have stuff in it? I'm not too sure. Would you ever consider breeding or even just keeping electric blue acaras? I probably would, but I think I want to do like do some other stuff before that. But they look really cool. That is a good idea. Here's the question. This is the question I've been waiting for. shrimp-sized dog or dog-sized shrimp. Yeah, I've been seeing so Prawn a lot's been asking that to everyone. I saw he made a funny video of that. I really like that. Here, one sec. So I guess I don't know. So I actually did think about this. A shrimp-sized dog would look super, super weird, but then like a dog-sized shrimp, it's super hard. Okay, so I'd want a tiny dog, like a dog that's the size of a shrimp, because it's just so tiny. Like you could put like, I don't know, on your hand. It's like, it just seems way cooler. It'd be so freaky to have like a huge, like lobster looking cherry shrimp or something like that. It's just not like what I'd want. So yeah, it's such a good question, but I think I'm gonna go for the shrimp sized dog for sure. Dog sized shrimp is so weird. Yeah, my dog is almost shrimp size, so it's kind of unfair for me. That's definitely true. But yeah. Um what's my opinion on Medaka rice fish? I don't again have a strong opinion on them. I think that they are very like they're cool fish. Very easy to take care of, I believe. And I can't give you first-hand experience, which is always the best information I like to give. I don't like to talk about stuff that I haven't personally done. So, yeah, I do like them. They are really cool. I haven't seen them very much in the States, and in Japan and stuff like that. They're definitely a lot more popular. How do I bring my cherry shrimp? So just literally give them like the right environment. Give their bait. They're going to breed by themselves, but give them tons and tons of hiding spaces for the fry, because otherwise, like they're just going to get gobbled up by other stuff, unless it's just a cherry shrimp only tank where it's going to be fine. And one thing I'll give you a tip on is don't take out too many once they start to breed, because otherwise they'll slow down and they'll stop breeding. Just let them grow and get the colony really big, and then start taking them out. I love Medaka rice fish. They do great in ponds. Yes, that's what I've heard. I don't know if they're a live bearer or if they egg scatter or egg lay. I'd really like someone to tell me, because I haven't looked into it, obviously, so I don't know. But I think that I don't really know. I can't say. I don't want to sound stupid, but I'm completely out of my depth with rice fish. I haven't even thought about them before. I do know what they look like, and I've seen that Corey from Aquarium Co-op keeps them and stuff like that. But yeah. Love from Dubai. Just want to congratulate you on your growth. Keep it up. Thanks. Yeah, no, I can't. I don't want to take all the credit for the growth, because I don't know what it is, but yeah, like it's obviously there's been quite a few people subbing up, which is crazy. I've really enjoyed making videos and getting like helping out people. That's the main thing. Like if I can teach someone something for free, then that's just like the best thing. Why do my koris eat all their eggs? But I've seen videos where they don't bother. Okay, so this is actually something that's interesting too. So I think that maybe it'd probably be like the ones in the videos either haven't finished breeding yet, or they are full. Like if fish aren't full, they're gonna always eat their fry. It's the same with guppies. Like if you keep guppies really well fed, they just won't go after they won't go after their babies as much, and it's because they're not hungry. But yeah, so like that that's probably why they're probably hungry, in my opinion. But the other thing too is sometimes, yeah, like when I've seen people recording them, they're not finished breeding, they're still spawning. That's why. So some too as well, like just turn around straight away and just start eating them. So my best advice is just take them out as quick as possible. Again, I don't think koris are an insanely smart fish. So I think sometimes too, they just forget about the eggs being there, and that's why. But I'm honestly not too sure. Rice fish lay eggs on spawning moths. Okay, so that's right. So they'd be very similar to the dwarf neon rainbows. So yeah, my favorite part of the day is plucking eggs from spawning moths. I don't go to that effort. I haven't plucked eggs before, but yeah, no, I should probably do that to get more fry. But yeah, What's your dream tank setup? I don't feel like I have a dream. Like just a ton of racks, like grow out racks, like a breeding. I want like a rack with all the parents in it, and I want like just so many grow out racks. It's not even funny, and like a ton of like tubs just full of guppies and like all this fish growing out that I've bred. That'd just be like so satisfying, like a fish farm. But like I want to see like tank, like all these 4 foots, and like in each tank there's just like 600 angelfish in it. It'd just be so cool. It'd stop people as well from catching stuff out of the wild. That's what I want to stop. I don't have a problem with it because they all have to come from somewhere, but if we can breed them, it's a lot better, in my opinion. How do you balance between keeping well fed and overfeeding? So the best thing to do is to feed small amounts, but feed often. That's the best thing. You want to like feed less, but feed more at the same time. If that's weird, like you want to have like as little amount of food, but if you can do it like 10 times a day, perfect. Because that's how they eat in the wild. They don't just like, I mean, sometimes they're obviously going to find like a ton of mosquito larvae or something like that, but just they're not going to find like a ton of fish flakes and just get bloated. So that's some good goals. Yeah, hopefully everyone else can get amongst it. That'd be really cool if we get like a ton of just so many breeding racks and like so many grow out racks. It'd be sick. It'd be like amazing. If too much editing is slowing down your output, don't worry about it. Is your personality that's a chief asset. You're interesting here with no editing at all. Oh, thanks for that. Yeah, no, I don't know. I do edit a lot. I spend a lot of time editing. Editing doesn't take a crazy amount of time. I think what takes a lot of time is actually the stuff. First of all, planning takes a lot of time. But one of the things that people don't think about is thumbnail creation. That is one of the things that consumes a lot of my time. I'm always thinking about how to make stuff look as good as possible and present it in a really, really good way. And videos, I find that like sometimes people like a lot. I enjoy personally watching a lot of unedited videos, and sometimes I'll upload unedited videos, but people don't want to consume it unless it looks good from the start. And like you've got to make it's not. I don't like clickbaiting ever. I don't want people to like click on a video expecting something and then get something else. So I'm always trying to like get across a message through like a really effective thumbnail, and that takes a lot of time. So that's one of the things that can consume a lot of time. But like I'm not complaining about it at all. Like I really just enjoy making the videos. So but the editing is I've gotten really efficient at it because I've been like 190 videos, you get pretty good at doing anything. Like we made it 190 times. So I'm not like obviously the best editor in the world, but I'd be lying if I said that it wasn't like just literally sitting down and just making myself do it. Some like that makes it sound like a chore, but like it is just like it's like editing. It's just like getting down and doing the assignment. Like it's obviously not the most glamorous bit, but it's not like taking copious amounts of time. It's like it's completely fine. But I think that what slows down a lot of production would be, thumbnails, and coming up with really good ideas. I don't want to bore you guys with stuff that like an idea has to be good for me to make too. Like I could make a ton of videos about stuff that I don't care about, and I think you guys would be able to tell. Did you answer what to feed corridors? Feed them bloodworms, frozen bloodworms. Feed them frozen brine shrimp. Feed them flakes, pellets, spirulina, flakes, algae wafers, rapashi food sometimes. Anything. They'll eat anything. They're catfish. They love everything. They're absolute guts. So some people off to bed. Good night. I should probably be in bed, but I'm out here entertaining. Hopefully. It's really the same in Australia. I don't know what we're talking about. Ever heard of a neon blue Goby? I want one for my 20-gallon aquarium. I think I have. I'm going to quickly Google that. Yeah, have a look. Ooh, are they saltwater or freshwater? They look a bit freshwatery. They look cool. They look expensive. Are they? I bet they're not. Oh yeah, $61. There we go. So we know it's going to be expensive in Australia if it's that much in the States. Everything here costs way more. So yeah. Have you had a look at DaVinci Resolve? I did. I think I'm going to still stick with Final Cut for now, just because I can't learn something else yet. Once like I get into the flow of things, I'll definitely try and maybe consider something else. But if I needed to, yeah, I probably would. But I'd probably be okay. Like Final Cut, like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just right now, like it's definitely good. It looks like a real good program, but it's not. Yeah, I've still got to learn Final Cut Pro properly. Do you have a good brine shrimp hatchery you recommend? Don't waste, or I don't say don't waste your money. I'm going to get a brine shrimp hatchery at one point, but I've been using, look, do whatever works for you and what works for me. I'm not joking. I literally use a water bottle cut in half. I don't even use a light, and I use an air pump, and I put them in there with a bit of salt. I don't even buffer the pH or anything like that, and I hatch them. So that's what I'm using. Just whatever works. Try a bottle. If it doesn't work, get a hatchery. But for me, I just literally use a bottle. Hobbyists are scarce in my area. I enjoy breeding, but what's the point if I can't get them out of my breeding room? Yeah, interesting. So it depends where you live. Like if you're in the States, you can flog a lot of stuff off on Aquabid, and your shipping's way better than mine. Like in Australia, it's so hard to get stuff around to people quick. And there's also limitations of where you can send stuff. So if you live in the States, I'd look into Aquabid. But if you're in Australia, maybe do some really rare fish and ship them out to selected states, like some rare El Novo plecos or something like that. But I wouldn't be doing your common stuff because people won't pay to ship it. Was talking about local fish stores buying mostly from wholesalers where his, and he said the same in Australia. Yes. DIY brine shrimp hatchery is the best way. I want to say I think it is the best way, but I know a lot of people use hatcheries too, and I don't use whatever works. Getgills.com now in this. Okay, so is that the one? I know that for a fact. Yeah, So what's if people in the comments can tell me, because I can't use either of these things, but is GetGills the one that's set up by, is it Dan's Fish Room or something like that? Dan's Fish? Because is it just the fact that people don't use Aquabit anymore and now they've just started to use GetGills? Is it free? What's the deal with it? I wanted to set up something like that for so long in Australia, but I feel like the laws are always changing, and the rules and stuff like that of how to do it and all the software and can be quite pricey. So it's a project for later, but I was just wondering if it's free, because I think the Aquabit's free. I'm not too sure. I thought that the only way Aquabit made money was through donations. Aquabit is like eBay, GetGills is more like Amazon, right? Yeah. Glad I found your vids very informative and entertaining. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's the goal. Always very simple and easy to follow, and hopefully entertaining as well. What brine shrimp eggs do you use? So I don't have any here, but just I found some on eBay. That's what I've been using. Just with a really, really high hatch rate is what you want, because if you have a bad hatch rate, then they're not going to hatch really well. Aquabit is free. GetGills takes 5%. Interesting. Yeah. So I guess it's not much to take, but it is still more than eBay, because eBay takes, what is it? 2-point-something%, maybe. No, it doesn't. It takes 10%. That's right. I'm completely wrong. I'm just going to quickly reply to something. But Sorry. Yeah. No. Okay. So eBay does take GST, which is something interesting. So maybe there's no GST on Get Gills. I have no clue how it works. I mean, it does take someone a bit of money to set up a business, so I don't have a problem if they're making a profit. But that is interesting. How many people are used? Is it like? So my understanding is that like Aquabid's like eBay, so you can just individual sellers can just list an item, and then when it sells, it gets taken down. But it sounds like Get Gills is like individual sellers selling a series of items, like as a shop front almost, and then like acting as a shop front on a site. I think that's the best way of trying to understand it. Hopefully that's making sense. But Aquabid is like an auction. Okay, right. That's right. I can't use them, so this is very interesting for me. But eBay takes it up front before you pay it. I hate that. Yeah, they do. And they also, I don't think, see, the thing is with eBay too, I think you pay fees on products that you return as well, which is super annoying. Like, so yeah. Ever heard of autosynclus? I've definitely heard of autosynclus. So, yeah. Watch my neon tetra lay eggs and all the others eat them. If you're getting them to lay eggs, put them into, follow the neon tetra, like watch the series if you want to watch it, and try and follow that, and then just mimic exactly what you do in that community aquarium. Put it in the box, and then take the fish out and keep the eggs, and you'll get some fry. It'll work really, really well. That's really good because often you won't see like neon tetras just breeding without you doing anything. So it must mean that your water quality is perfect and you're feeding them really well. So you're already on the right path. You just got to separate the neons and get the exact same. Do the exact same thing that you're doing at a community aquarium. If you've got questions, just ask them. If anyone has questions, just ask them. I'm just going through it and having a chat with you guys because, yeah. Go to bed or Santa won't come. Do corridors eat tetra eggs? Yeah. So corridors will eat any eggs, even their own, like we were talking about before. So, yeah. Most local fish stores are very, very new to the idea of buying fish from a local breeder. They're used to trusting of wholesalers. What's your opinion on my situation? So I think, first of all, empathy. It is very, like, dare I say, ballsy to do a local fish store because it's very, very, like, expensive overheads and high risk. But that's the first thing. So the reason they won't want to buy from a local breeder is because when they buy from a wholesaler, if something goes wrong, like if the wholesaler sends them sick fish or they don't send them the right amount of fish or something like that, something breaks down in the chain, then they can just point the finger at exactly who it is, and often they can get like refunds and they can get like more fish sent to them and all that kind of stuff. Their liabilities kind of their risk is a bit more offset, but with a local breeder, if I, for instance, sell to my local fish store, like not the right amount of fish or something like that, they can't really call me up and ask me to bring in more and stuff like that. So it's a more complicated relationship. You got to kind of, like I was saying in a couple of lives ago, which you probably haven't watched, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. You're going to have to set yourself up and compete against those wholesalers. Now, you're obviously not going to be making as much fish as them, but be as professional as you can. So bring in like a little wholesale list, and yeah, someone's just dropped in a good comment. Be a good customer first, and then trade for store credit. Maybe that's a good idea, and then build it up from there. But you want to be as professional as possible. So come in like you're a genuine wholesaler with a list of stuff that you're selling, and try and not be like a nobody to them, if that makes sense. So it's more complicated than that. I probably have to make like a video about it. It's a hard question to answer because everyone's situation is so different, and like what's happening to me might not be happening to you, vice versa. So that's how it is. And like, I guess if I come back to the question, I don't want to miss anything. They're very used to trusting wholesalers. So the reason they trust them is because they like the wholesalers have like a legal liability, like to make sure they sell a good product when they sell it. And then, yeah. So I guess my idea is to just, be as professional as possible. I think the best thing in that situation is probably to become, like a customer first. So make sure you're buying from all of them regularly. They start recognizing your face. And then one of the things you can do is trade for store credit first, because that's lots less risk for them. They'll see everything that you're bring in like small amounts of stuff, even bring in stuff for free if you really, really are desperate to get rid of stuff, and start developing that relationship. And don't just bring it in for free. Bring it in like, say, these are some samples. Would you like to sell this after? And what I was saying is bring it in for store credit. They'll say, here's like $50 store credit. And it means that you have to spend that money in the store, so they're going to win anyways. And then later on, once you've started supplying them and they know that your fish are good quality and they're for the right price, then you can start to talk about cash. And then you've got a business, like a small business. Do corduroys fried take time to grow? They can take quite a long time to grow. Yes, that's right. Yeah. So as always, you'll always get some fry that grow bigger than and quicker than other ones, your sprinters. So the best thing to do is try and separate them into different sizing. And then do fish go blob or gulp? I think gulp. Blob's more like if they fell on the floor to me. Platies or neons? Neons for me. What time is it now? It's only 10 o'clock. That's right. Yeah, 10:07 my time. How to choose neon tetra, because I'm getting it soon. So that's a good question. Like, this is my principles for any fish. First of all, make sure none of the other fish in the tank are sick. That's one thing. And that'll, like, if there's fish that are skinny, if there's fish with nipped fins, if there's fish with fungus on it, and it's in the tank with the fish that you're about to buy, don't buy them. It's not going to be good. The other thing, pick the really fat ones, not bloated. You want like really meaty ones, and pick the most active ones. Try and get the fish store to actually feed them like a little bit of food. Pick out the ones that go to the food the most. Like, that's a hard thing to ask sometimes. I mean, it can be busy in a fish store. You don't want to be like a pain in the butt, but like, you don't want to like, you want like fish that are always going to like really aggressive eaters with a lot of meat and really good finnage. That's what I'm after every time. I don't want fish that are skinny and sick. And it sounds cruel, but like, I don't want to buy into something that's just going to cause problems. How often do I hatch baby brine shrimp? So because it's cold now and I don't use a lamp to heat them up, like every 2 days they hatch. So mine take about 48 hours to 70 hours to hatch now. But in summer, it's every 24 hours. So I just hatch it on like schedule. Just like when I take brine shrimp out, I hatch more. That's just how it is for me. But like if I had more like hatcheries, I'd probably be scheduling a bit more, but it's just whenever it's ready. Here's a good question. Would I ever open an aquarium shop one day? So I think at some point, I mean, it is in like the pipeline for me. Like, I'd like to try that. I think that it is probably the hardest thing to do in the whole entire aquarium trade, is to become the local fish store guy. And I think it's because you require like at least like 1,000 people to keep your store afloat sometimes. And when you think about it, it doesn't seem like a lot of people, but it is a hard business to run, and it's a real grind. You need to be there so many hours, and not like I have a problem with that, but I have so much respect for people who set up proper aquarium shops. It's a very, very hard business. You can make money from it. You can make a lot of money from fish stores if they're done properly, but a lot of people also who haven't got any retail experience, like me, I haven't worked at retail, so I'm not really game enough to try it, especially when it's such a hard business to run. I feel like it'd be easier to run like, no, I can't say that really, but like I was going to say like a clothes store or something like that. But I mean, it's just for the fact that you have to keep a ton of stuff alive. You've got a lot, like if you had a power outage, you lose all your stock. Like, so yeah, I think that at some point I'd like to do it, but not yet. If that's like, I can't do it yet. Any tips to make money from selling live fish plants? Sell stuff. Oh, make stuff that sells in your area and make a lot of it. What town do I live in? I live in Brisbane, Australia. I have to disagree because when a big bubble comes to the surface, it makes a blob sound. But fish don't make bubbles. Well, I feel like fish shouldn't be making bubbles. I feel like they gulp more. That was it, right? Gulp or blob? Yeah, I feel like. How do you know when they've hatched? I think you're talking about brine shrimp. So when it's like really bright orange, like get a torch, put it up against it, and you'll see there'll be a ton of like hatchlings in there. And when it's really bright orange, like that's when you know. Sometimes one of the observations I made, I haven't really heard about other people talking about this, but like sometimes it can look like they've hatched when it's like kind of in between being like brown and orange. By the way, I'm colorblind, so I could be completely wrong here. But if you look really tiny, like close to like all the eggs, when they're ready, you won't see any of these things. But like I'll try and actually draw it because it's hard to explain. Like I'm just joking. I'll do. That tea's cold now, but so you don't want to pull them when they too early. So what you'll see is there'll be like an egg, and then it'll look like kind of like. So this looks really weird, but basically the eggs will look like it looks so bad. They'll look like this. So there'll be the eggshell, and then the brine shrimp will be like coming out of it, and it's in the process of hatching. And when you see any of them, like if you see like tons and tons of them, then the brine shrimp aren't ready. They're not ready. And when you pull them, the problem is like you can feed them to your fish, but the fish will eat the shells. And I feel like feeding them the shells isn't good because I think it can cause bloat. And yeah, like it can just cause other problems. So sorry for not keeping it PG. That was brine shrimp in the process of hatching. I know it looked like bad stuff, but that was definitely not the intentions of that. Dwarf gouramis or neons? I don't know. Probably neons still. How many guppies should you keep in a 5 gallon? So I'd keep I'd say 5 or 6 males in a 5 gallon. I want to get any females because what can happen is when they breed, you're just going to overstock the aquarium in the first breed. So yeah. Sorry for the bad drawing, by the way. There's some people making the stream. That's good. What colors do you struggle seeing properly? So I struggle seeing mostly reds and greens, which I think is really common with a lot of people. I often wear like clothes that don't match and stuff like that when I don't get people who can see properly to comment on it. But those are red and green, and sometimes even like blues. So like light and like purples and blues and all that kind of stuff. But that's still super boring. What have I been feeding my L number plecos? So I know you got some yesterday. So I've been feeding mine frozen bloodworms, Artemia shrimp, frozen, some sinking pellets, and that's it really. I'm gonna obviously be varying up the diet. Hopefully at some point I'm gonna be getting some like Repashy foods. I really am keen on getting some of them. But yeah, like I think the main thing is, and I've also been every now and then mixing up like a bit of veggie in there just to let them clear their guts. But I think one thing that's really important is they will like guts themselves out. So feed them like once a day, and to avoid bloating them, give them a day off of feeding, like do a fasting day. So on most Sundays I don't feed them, or Saturdays. And that'll let them like poop everything out and let them clear their guts out. And another thing you can do is obviously feed them some veg, and they'll normally get it out. But the best things to feed are, like your frozen foods, and like live blackworms and stuff like that are good. But I find that they don't really go after them as much because all of mine are tank raised. So they really want like still stagnant foods. But hopefully that can help you out because, I was pretty keen on the ones you picked up. You sent me a DM and, and they're really cool fish. My pleco had eggs. Do I take them out or leave them in the cave? It depends. Like, if you leave them in the cave, the male's probably not going to let anyone else get in there, which is fine. And, they'll still probably survive. But if you take them out, you're probably going to get I don't know. It's completely up to you. It depends on the situation. They're going to hatch either way normally. Ever keep dwarf pea puffers? So we're on the pea puffers again. This is another interesting thing. So because we've got so many people here who haven't been on a stream before, I'm just going to quickly talk about this because I've talked about it probably 4 consecutive weeks in a row on the Q&As. But so in Australia, stuff can cost a crazy amount because we've got import laws on stuff. So for instance, lots of plecos here cost a crazy amount compared to the States because you can't bring any in. So any that are here are captive bred or smuggled in. And it's the same for dwarf pea puffers. So for instance, a $5 fish, but here in Australia, it costs upwards of 200 at least. Am I still connected? One sec. Give my internet a second to connect. Here we go. So here they can cost up to $300 a fish, which is how much it costs. But I would like to keep them. It'll be a while before I can't even find any. If I could find some, I probably would buy them. But I haven't seen any available. How long would you spend doing tank maintenance and changing water every week? Not that much. So all my tanks take about 2 hours to clean. And I do it twice a week normally. So it's 4 hours. It's not a crazy amount of time. The most time consuming thing is probably the tank cleaning, but it doesn't take a crazy amount of time like people would think. I spend a lot of time looking at the fish more than I do cleaning them. But so it can take a lot of time if you have buckets. When I was cleaning tanks with buckets, that was a nightmare. I don't know why I was still doing that. It took a long time, but now I siphon out with buckets. So I put all the old water in buckets and throw it out onto the lawn. And then I fill them up with hoses. Yucks, $200. I withdraw the question. Yeah, that's a classic. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize how much they cost. One of your videos, looks like you placed frozen bloodworms in with. Wait. One of your videos looks like you placed frozen bloodworms in still frozen. Was that correct? I thaw mine in warm water first. Yeah, I just chuck them in frozen because I don't really care. They just thaw in the warm water in there, and they just pick them off as they're thawing. So you don't have to do that. I've never ran into bloating or anything like that with not thawing them. So, you don't have to do that. But if you want to do that, that's fine. Ever see an angelfish with clear body and red eye? I have. Not clear. I've seen the white ones with well, I know what they are. I think the Ultims have the red eye. I'm not too sure. No, I can't remember. My head's completely over the place. I'm trying to think of which angelfish has the red eye. There's one specific type, but I have seen red-eyed ones. I don't think I've seen the clear body, not translucent, but I've seen I think I've seen white ones. Not in person. I've seen them online. So it could be completely fake or genetically modified. Have you done a video on your step-by-step tank cleaning guide? I haven't. I feel like I probably should do a video on that, but I haven't because I think that people kind of figure that out on their own. And I feel like people wouldn't appreciate the way I do it as much as people, I don't know how to explain it. People wouldn't be able to relate to the way I do it because I've got a hose that I drag in from the garden. So, that's probably why, but, no, thanks, Bobby. I I want you to stop donating, like, because you've done it like every stream, and I I really don't want you to keep donating because yeah, you've done heaps. Thank you so much, but I really do appreciate it. I don't know if I can send that back though. Thank you though. I dragged mine through a window. Yeah, so like that's how many people here actually use hoses to fill up their tanks? Because I use a garden hose, but some other people plug in like the pythons to their sink, and then you can just switch it over and do that. It makes it a lot easier. I think that's a really good method to do it too. But obviously the pinnacle and like the holy grail of fish keeping is to have the automatic system, which will be happening when we get out of here and we do everything else. Well, get out. That's going to sound so weird to a lot of people. When we move the tanks into a new facility, that makes more sense. It's going to be on auto water changes because then I can breed more stuff if I'm not changing water all the time. And like, obviously, auto water changes sounds amazing. Obviously, there's cons. Well, not cons, but like you still have to like siphon and stuff like that. You're not relieved completely, but I can keep a better quality of fish. I don't have to worry about ammonia because I can just flush out tanks, and yeah, it'd be a lot easier. Yeah, so heaps of people use hoses here. So HC is using hoses. Yeah, garden hoses. Cat's just too intense. Dragging it through the window. Bobby's dragging it through the window. Clear hose from Bunnings. Yeah, so I don't even have a garden. Oh yeah, the apartment people. Is it an apartment? Yeah, because then you have to use your sink or something like that. But yeah, no, I think how often should I do water changes? I was waiting for that question. So like, it's at least once a week is like the go-to. Like that, you'll hear often people say 25% once a week. I've said it. I think that's like the minimum. I'd recommend going twice a week, but it depends too. Some tanks don't even need water changes a lot. Like LR Brett's, I don't even know if he like knows who I am, but he keeps fish in a really interesting way, and I really like the way he keeps fish because he lets nature do a lot of the work. And he's done like months without water changes, I believe. So like goes to show you that it's like it's completely variable for everyone else. It's completely different. If I got someone asking about the 10-gallon fish. So I've got like I think I've got a 10-gallon tank video, so you can watch that. I've got like 10 fish there. I bought myself a waterbed kit, same thing as Python but cheaper. Plug into the hose and off I go. Okay, because yeah, that's a good observation there too, because hopefully this can help out people, because I can't find pythons in Australia. When I was looking, I wanted to be able to sell them because not like I don't want money. I just want people to have them because they looked really good, but I couldn't find them. So yeah, I if someone can DM me a link, I'll be able to try it out. But yeah, Tan, thank you so much for donating. Thank you for answering my questions. I am more than happy to answer questions. I don't have a problem with answering questions at all. Thank you so much for asking me questions, and thank you for the dono. I really do appreciate it. I'm too scared I'll shock the fish with cold water from the garden hose, but Brisbane would be warmer than my water here in Melbourne. Okay, that's interesting too. So it depends how cold it is. Like the water in my hose is still very cold. I'd say it's like 16 degrees. Okay, this is going to be, I'm glad we've got like 39 people here, which is really, really good, because I'm going to ask a big question, and I want everyone to kind of like drop in your answers and tell me what you think, because in my opinion, I don't think temperature is something that's contributing to stress of fish as much. And the reason, like, that's a real bold statement, but what I'm trying to say is, like, I don't think that when we have like a fish gets shocked, it's directly from temperature. Like if a fish is kept like obviously cold for long enough, it's going to die because it's a tropical fish. But when you think about like a river, right? We got up the top. Have you ever swam like in a lake or something like that? It's like up the top in summer, it's so warm. Like you're just trying to like pancake on the top of the lake because it's so damn hot. Like that's where all the warm water is. But the second you start swimming down, it gets freezing cold. Like, it gets so cold. And you have to think about the fish are going to swim up and down all day. We've got like corridors going along the bottom, going up to the top. Like, they're going from 30 degrees down to 19 down the bottom. So, like, in my opinion, I want everyone to start telling me what you think, because I really don't think that, like, I mean, if we put a fish into like 0 degree water, it'd affect it. But I don't think that like the difference between 16 degree water or 32 degree water is what's killing fish. And I don't think it's like shocking them out too much. I think it's very normal for like a fish to go from like the top of the body of water being like substantially warmer than the bottom of the like lake, wherever they come from. Like, so I could have just won a bunch of dislikes, but in my opinion, I don't think that it's killing fish, so I wouldn't be worrying about it. If you're injecting an aquarium with like 0 degree water, maybe like don't do it, but just give it a quick test of temperature. I bet it probably wouldn't be less than 10 degrees. So it should be fine as well. Like, you're mixing it with what, 50%. If you did a 50% water change, it's gonna be 50% 24 degree water probably, and like 10% 10 degree water. It's gonna probably drop to what, like, I don't know. I'm not on the maths tonight. Maybe like 17 degrees or something like that. I probably could be wrong, but I think that like that still wouldn't, like, the heater would just boot up. I don't think it's a problem, but I'd like to see what everyone else is saying, because I'm going to try and read it. But I can go straight from a jacuzzi to an unheated pool. I'm still fine. Exactly. That's like what I'm trying to say. Temperature change can be a problem on Neocaridina, though. I think they're a little bit more fragile. They don't, because they live in like flatter bodies of water. So you got to think about where the fish comes from, obviously. But most of the fish that we keep, the community fish, are going to be fine, in my experience as well. Like, everyone else is going to have different things. What I've experienced. I'm just going to quickly try and answer questions after, but so I always assumed the average temperature should be within their comfort zone, but my fish never complain when it drops a few degrees. Yeah, like in the wild too. Like, a lot of people say, "Oh, I don't need a heater because in the wild it gets like cold overnight." You think too, like, it's like getting cold in like a huge body of water, so it's probably not going to get like to the room temperature. It's going to stay a little bit above room temperature. Like, if you have 40 liters of water, it's just going to get cold real quick. And like, if it's going to drop below 0 in a night or something like that, it's just going to kill the fish. So, but yeah, try and stay within their range. But yeah, like, we've got some people. Yeah, so cold water stimulates rain, and some fish breed as well. Yeah, that's right. So it seems like a lot of people agree. I don't think that I'm like specifically wrong, but that's just what I've experienced. So like, take it with a pinch of salt. Like, what's up? Hope you're doing okay. I'm doing mint. I've been doing real good. Hope everyone else is doing really good too. And yeah, like, I mean, obviously, I always try and steer clear of like, I mean, there's tons of stuff happening in the world. Like, I'm not going to lie, but I mean, hopefully, all of us fish keeping geeks are coming together and like getting into what we love, because now, I mean, a lot of people have been home and it's just like the perfect time to keep fish. Like, and I'm all about people trying to like no matter where you're from, like no matter like what like race you are or like any of that kind of stuff. Like, it, to me, I find it like good that we can just connect over fish. Like, put all that other stuff aside. That stuff I don't want to talk about on the channel, but like, if we can connect about like through fish, and like, I'm all for that. Like, it's a really, really good good way to like all get along. It's like, I want to get like stickers that say breed fish, don't make war. Yeah, so I think we're back onto the temperature thing. I think that, what were we saying? Yeah, I think so. Poor water quality is going to kill your fish. That's one thing that's real bad. But sorry. How to remove chlorine from water without using dechlorinator? Oh, don't try it. Just use dechlorinator. You can you can leave it out on like if you leave water out for long enough, it loses chlorine. But don't just use dechlorinator. It's just so worth the money. Like it's not that expensive, and long term, it's not that expensive. Like it can cost a bit up front, but like you're going to use it for a couple of months, and it's just worth not losing all your fish for that. Wasn't that one of your neon tetra breeding tips? Let the water drop. Yeah, so like if you can like drop the temperature a little bit, sometimes it does stimulate fish to breed. So it's like the whole raining thing. It does help sometimes for some fish. Corridories love it. But yeah. What else we got going on? The issue I have is I love talking about fish, but I haven't really gotten anyone else that's actually interested to talk about them. Do a lot of people have the same problem? Actually, that's a really good thing. Who here like never like besides the guy who runs the local fish store, that's like, and I mean in Australia we don't have as many clubs and the same kind of fish keeping culture I think as the States, but like we need like more like areas where people can just like go to every couple of weeks and just like geek out on their observations about fish. And like other hobbies have it. I don't know why fish keeping doesn't have it yet, but yeah, you're gonna drive people away real quick if you start talking about fish, because they're gonna be like people who don't keep fish don't understand it. So yeah, and it's like KFS club. Hopefully this is the KFS club right now, but like yeah, I mean we need like I think in like I know that in my area there's a couple of clubs. So but I don't know, since COVID, like what's happening. I know that a lot of them have said like they're just canceling their meetings, and I'm not like a member of any of the clubs yet. So I was planning on joining, but I didn't join, and now there's no meetings. So it's like I don't know whether like what's going to happen after that. But I mean, if like I don't know what is going to happen in my area, but I definitely love to join like a proper club. And I like the idea of like there's lots of clubs in the States where there's lots of like breeding projects that they do, and people giving the club fish to auction off for free and they're making money that way. I really like that whole I don't know, like getting amongst something kind of thing through a hobby. I'd like to, if no one else is going to do it, hopefully I could do it. So but yeah, like I mean there's still you got to be a small guy before you can be like doing all that crazy stuff. And yeah, do I still run the Facebook group? Yeah, so I still run the KFS group. That's like most of the time I do all the members, I approve them all, and I try and make sure like anyone here who's watching this, please don't like. I want it to be just fish. Like there's so many groups that just get spoiled when people like start spamming stuff. And like when I first started YouTube, I spammed on groups, and like it's not. I don't recommend doing it. It's not good for your branding, and like I regret doing it. So don't spam. I'm just trying to ask nicely. I think that all the people that are there aren't there for the spam. They're there to help each other, and that's just like my opinion on it. So like that's what I want it to be. And yeah, so I try and like I don't know, monitor that, but I still run it. Yes. The Discord server. I don't know anything about Discord. I've actually got it, but maybe I should set up one. I know that lots of other YouTubers have them. So maybe it's time that I start to do it. But yeah, I haven't got one yet. My neighbor got me into fish. That is so strange. I would never thought that. That's not strange, like in a bad way. I mean, like that's crazy. I've never thought that someone would got in that. I'd like to hear that story, but I went from a tank full of snails to 4 tanks of guppies. There we go. Another one bites the dust. Got another person into the hobby. That's how it starts. It's like a slippery slope, especially if you were like like I've always been interested into like wildlife and all that kind of stuff. I don't know like how you explain it. I've always just been interested in like growing plants and I don't know, just like I guess I was kind of always bound to become a fish hobbyist, and so like I hope a lot of other people, I don't know, have like the same. I don't know how to explain it. I'm trying to make it make sense. It's just this weird like little bug, but it is like a slippery slope down, especially if you're like an extremist guy like me. I mean, I'm so extremist. Thank you, Varshal. Tips on videos for my YouTube channel. If you're asking me for a tip, I would say make videos that you would like to see. That's one I always say. Make videos that you'd like to watch yourself, and yeah, like I just try and make the best content that you can, and whatever's really interesting for you is probably interesting for someone else. So yeah, but thank you so much for the dono. I really do appreciate that heaps. Thank you so much. Bobby can do it for me if I'd like. Maybe we'll have to see, because like I like KFS Discord, KFS breeding room. Like I'm not trying to be lazy. I'm working like a fiend, but like just priorities. I gotta like, I know that probably won't take much time, but then we need like mods, and I want to get all the everything down, like all the frameworks down, and then start to like, all right, let's put something, and if that makes sense. I'm so on these lives. I think I'd love to post one day an unedited KFS video, like the ones I post on a Sunday. I want to post one of them, and you guys will see. I'll sit there and like I'll just be like, "Hey guys, and like for so long, and it's just like my train of thought. Like I can't. You can tell that they're scripted, but like the scripting I do is like, literally, here's some scripting. Like that's what I go off of, and I just like kind of wing it sometimes. So sometimes it turns out really good, but sometimes it turns out really sucky. But the what was I gonna say? Yeah, the train of thought gets off sometimes real bad. I inspired you to get into fish. I'm super glad. Hopefully I inspired a lot of people. I don't like feeling like I don't want to feel like I'm responsible for people's addictions, but if I could help someone find something that they really enjoy, then I'm super, super pumped. You get hooked and you don't stop. I went from 1 tank to 4 in less than a year. So that's the same as me. I actually went from 1 tank to 8. No, 7. 7 was the amount that I got. I was like a little kid, and I was like the best time ever. But yeah, you get hooked so quick. Go to sleep. I'll probably be going to sleep in like, I don't know, 20 minutes or something like that. But I think I'm just going to let everyone know. So I'm probably going to answer questions and just talking for 20 minutes. We'll end this at 2 hours because, yeah, that's what we'll do. So whoever was planning to stay along, we're going to be on for 20 more minutes. So if you stay along, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. But if you guys have any questions, I'm just going to keep answering them because it looks like people are still asking questions. So yeah, Widow Tetra breeding tips. Pretty much the same as any Tetra. I, again, haven't bred them, so I can't tell you exactly what to do. I just follow the Neon Tetra breeding. I think that, I feel like I'm going to quickly look it up. I feel like a lot of other Tetras, like they don't need them peat as much as the Neons do. So I don't know. Sorry, one sec. Yeah, so like more males than females, which is something interesting I found too. And just like heaps of food, and then kind of try and spawn them that way. But that's how I'd do it. Everyone has a next fish. What's yours? So I want HC, you need to tell me what your next fish is too. But for me, I think probably the look, I've got to breed the koi dories. So I've told you guys I'm going to do that. And I've still got to do that. But I've also got to do German blue rams. and I'll probably get German blue rams next. But the next fish for me is the breeding room, and then I can really tell you guys exactly what I'm going to do. KFS, you mean helps with the YouTube algorithm? And without any further ado, yes, what I start the videos with sometimes. I'm telling you, obviously it does. It's an interesting thing. The YouTube algorithm always changing, and like you can't really chase it. You just got to try and find like first of all, you got to enjoy what you're making, but then like the YouTube algorithm is always changing, yeah, and like it's proven that watch time on videos like improves the performance of videos because it makes sense. YouTube wants to recommend videos that get watched because they make more money. That's simply how it is because they can show more ads. So the more watch time and the more time people spend on a platform, then the better it is for them. So like the only reason I say it is like, obviously if you guys don't want to watch the video because it sucks, then like that I can't control that, or like I can. That's my like responsibility to make better videos. But I try and say it so that like you guys, if you like watching, you understand that like it helps me like a lot if you watch a video for longer. But I mean, I'm not like sitting here and I'm trying not to like beg you and sell you guys on it. Like, if that makes sense. I just want you guys to enjoy my videos. That's literally all I want. Do I like eating fish? So no, actually, so I don't. And that's not because like I keep fish. It's just, it's super weird. So I'm like half Greek and normally Greeks are known to eat like lots of seafood and all that kind of stuff. But my mum comes from the States, from like the Midwest, where there's not a lot of seafood being eaten. So she never ate seafood. And I feel like you have to eat seafood from a young age. So like, I don't really have the taste for it because my mum never ate it and I never ate seafood. So I'm not a big fan of it. And like, I can understand a lot of people love it, but it's just for me, like, maybe I'm not old enough yet to have like the taste buds for it, but I don't enjoy seafood. What AFL team do I follow? I follow the Brisbane Lions. They had a good win today. I watched that versus the Crows. So that was good. My next is the Gladiator betta. First black games. We don't have any of them in Australia. Well, I haven't seen any, but yeah. What is the YouTube algorithm? So basically YouTube, the way YouTube works is it has like an algorithm's just like a mathematical formula that just figures out something without you having to do it, pretty much. Like that's, I'm not a mathematician, but basically the YouTube algorithm is a bunch of equations that YouTube does based off of like what videos you watch. So like the reason you get recommended fish videos is because YouTube's algorithm knows you're watching fish videos and it recommends them again because they think you're enjoying it. So what creators often try and do is like utilize that in their content making to get more views. So like they'll make videos, like you'll see heaps of people will do like really like flashy videos and try and like keep your attention so the video gets watched longer, and then you get recommended more of the creators' videos, like little strategies like that. So it sounds like super like Orwellian, but you're always being watched like by YouTube's algorithm, not like by the camera, but like the numbers. It's keeping track of like what times you're watching videos, and like even like if you're watching this video now at night and you've watched like this whole live stream, which heaps of people have, and I really thank you so much. But like I bet tomorrow night YouTube's going to recommend you really long videos because they're going to think you're going to want to watch like something for longer. But like, for instance, in the morning, I get recommended more short videos, which is little observations I've made, but that's how they are really, really like good. They've got tons of mathematicians that work on making all these little like formulas and stuff to make sure that they're getting as many people staying on the platform and getting addicted to it as possible. And that's how it works. I'm just being honest. So, some people like, obviously there was a time on YouTube where like they didn't really track watch time as much and they tracked more click-through rates. So like the amount of times when they showed a video, how many people would click it, and then they'd like show those tons of like all the videos with like tons of clickbaity stuff would get heaps of views, and like it's not as much like that now, but yeah, like that's how YouTube works. It's always changing. Good night, Caden. Thanks for staying around on the stream. I appreciate it. Tips on making a pump quiet. I've heard about people wrapping them up like in towels and or shoving them in a shoebox. But I honestly can't tell you. I can't give you an answer that's going to be perfect because mine are loud too. You'd hear it in the echoing in my other videos. It's just not that great. I want to go from mutt guppies to fancy, but my local shop doesn't have them. Any tips? I'm in Australia. Just buy them online. Maybe wait till it's a bit warmer and then just find a good set online and then buy them if you can't get them from the local shop. Or ask the local shop to just bring them in. I'm sure they have wholesalers that have them. They're just not bringing them in because they don't sell. So pre-order them or find them online. My neon tetras are beating each other up. I have a couple. Looks like fungus on tail tips. Is it fungus from nipping each other? Yeah. So you can get bacterial infections and stuff like that. I use the medications I use normally for that kind of stuff are the Prazi Pro, is it? And Melafix. No, not Prazi Pro. No, what's the Pimafix? Pimafix. I use those two, and they work okay. Not great, but they normally do the job. So just follow those instructions. The problem is they can be quite expensive, so that's pretty annoying. How do I deal with algae blooms? So normally at the plant, if it's an algae bloom, I'm guessing you're talking about the really green tank. I bet if you Google how to deal with it, KFS, it'll come up with my video. But what I explain in that video is put floating plants in the aquarium, and what they do is, first of all, they start to use up all the nutrients that the algae is using to bloom. And then so the algae starts to not have anything to keep blooming because the plants are using it. But it also provides a canopy and light getting through that the algae is using to grow. It's getting mitigated. So the algae starts to die off slowly, and just do a couple of big water changes after you've added a ton of floating plants and it should go away. So your floating plants, water, wisteria, water sprite, duckweed's not that great, but you can use it. And some even mix of it's a good way. That's my advice. Yeah, we're unstable. So if you can hear me, please hang on. Sorry about hopefully we're still on. Come on, internet. Here, give it a second. Sorry about this, guys. Oh, we're back. We're back. Sorry. Why do most shops sell transparent uncolored guppies? So I think maybe you're talking about females. Females normally suck. They look not that great. Not female. Hopefully no one ever uses that against me, but I don't mean females. I mean female guppies. That sounded really bad. Female guppies don't have great color. Right, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm not being sexist at all. That's not what I meant. But yeah, female guppies, you could be mistaking them for that. Or also, yeah, feeders sometimes. I saw someone say that's true. So sometimes ugly guppies, I don't like to do it, but feeders normally don't look that great. Otherwise, it'd be sold. So that's why. But do I have Fortnite? Do I have PUBG? I don't know. I played Fortnite 2 years ago. And I wasn't very good at it, so I didn't play it for very long. But yeah. There's a cool see-through strain of guppies. You can clearly see the fetuses in the belly. Yeah, I'll have a look. I wish I should probably get a better streaming. Yeah, probably get a better streaming software. So that I can show you guys what I'm Googling. Oh, interesting. All right. Well, you guys can't see it, but if you look up transparent guppies, you'll see that it's straight away. You can see literally everything inside of it. That's crazy. It's called a yellow phantom or something like that, if I'm right. It looks really, really cool. So yeah. You should stream every day. I would, but it takes I need to normally I'd be trying to plan out a video or record it now. And I think once a week's probably pretty good. I feel like once a week a stream is good. But yeah, I've seen them on someone's YouTube. Very cool. Yeah, they look really interesting. I feel like that's the kind of thing. If someone picked up, like, if someone wanted to make a lot of money, I'd try and hunt them down. I'd pay whatever price I could, and I'd breed up a ton, like so many, and then I'd kind of like hold back from selling them, and then just release a ton, and you'd make a lot of money. But I mean, like, obviously, I'm not like, don't. I mean, I'm not trying to sell you on anything. Like, I'm no expert. I should stream like an hour a day. Like, honestly, I would. It's just I don't feel like I like the idea of people like being able to plan out on like a Sunday if they wanted to watch these streams and then know that every Sunday it's going to be like it's easier for like first of all, it's hard to think of like talk about stuff for an hour every day without repeating myself. But yeah, I feel like once a week's working decently. Are ramshorn snails good for your tank? Yes. Yeah, I reckon they are. So like as they're going to overpopulate the tank in any circumstance unless you got like a puffer fish. But as you get too many, just start to take them out, like crush them up. It sounds bad. Feed them to your fish, throw them in the garden, do whatever you want, release them somewhere. But yeah, like they're really good. So they like, first of all, they do help break down a lot of mold, so like poop at the bottom of the tank and stuff like that. But I mean, like in the wild, there's snails too, so they're a completely natural thing to have. And yeah, I think they're really good. I have them in all my tanks, and snails are kind of the thing that no matter how hard you try not to have them, at some point you're going to get them. Like unless you try really, really hard. Which brings me to another point. How many people here want to get rid of duckweed? I want to see how many people here that are watching, like everyone say, I want to get rid of duckweed in the chat if you do, because I found something really interesting that I've been looking to try and I want to make a video on it because it looks like a really good way of removing a ton of duckweed, but I don't know how to, like, I don't know if it'd work for live bear. Yeah, I've got like a way to get rid of duckweed, but everyone, yeah, tell me if you want to if you want to get rid of duckweed because I want to see if it works. I've been pretty much buying imported fancy Asian guppy strains. Here we go. Love duckweed. I'm warring on duckweed. I like my duckweed, but yes, it's annoying. Got here some people saying yeah. So yeah, duckweed, like I feel like I've got a way that we can try and start to remove it that's all right. But I mean, if I can help some people remove it, that'd be good. But appreciate you taking the time to chat here. Thanks so much. See you next week. Thank you. Thank you for joining in. I really like, I'm like trying to, I'm like flabbergasted that like, I can't believe that people want to come and chat here for ages. I don't know. I really do appreciate it. So thank you so much. I like duckweed. Just spray the leaves and keep it wet and it dies. Interesting. I didn't even think about that. No, so my way doesn't involve killing it. It just involves removing it. Huh. There we go. Interesting. Are ramshorns native to your area? No, I don't think they are at all. I think that I'd be doing my area not a favor if I started to release them. How's breeding the Corys going? Any tips? It's not going yet. Like, I'd love for it to be going, but yeah, we just need more space to do stuff, and that's the big priority. So yeah. Bladder snails are overpopulating now. I just pick them off whenever they are near the top. Seems to control. Exactly, that's what I do. One of the best ways to remove a ton of snails, drop like a cucumber or like a zucchini on a fork at the bottom of the aquarium, and like all the snails will come up onto it and just take out the fork with the zucchini and throw it out. Like, it's the best way to do it. Your videos help me out a lot as a beginner fish keeper, but my new neon tetras don't really school all together. Some of them are scattered all over the tank. Is something wrong? No. So neon tetras are like idiot tetras. They They can't school very well. They're not very good schooling fish. They are a schooling fish, but they're not a tight schooler, and they get lost all the time. So like, you're not doing anything wrong. Yeah, so that's what I want to do. Yeah, am I going to make a video on removing it? Probably. So yeah, that's why I was asking, because I wanted to see if any of you guys would be interested. But yeah, so I'll be trying to do that, because I think I've got a method that we can use, like all of us. But I haven't tried it yet. That's why I'm saving it for the video. Can I stop saying basically my videos? Oh, I'd be lying if I said I could try, but I mean, I can try. I don't want to be thinking about it when I'm trying to think of making the video, but I definitely do say basically a lot. It's like on my, like, I feel like if you had to have a KFS video dictionary, it'd consist of like, I don't know, 10 different adjectives, maybe not even, like, basically, what else do I use? I know that tons of people here are going to be able to just quickly drop a bunch of words. I'm just trying to think of all the ones I use. I definitely use basically a lot. So like, I'll say that a lot too. So like, pretty much, I'll say that too. There's a lot of words I just like to use. I don't know. Sometimes I'll like learn a new adjective and I'll just drop it in a video that day, and I'll feel really smart, but then I'll never use the adjective again. So, but yeah. Neons are a shoaling fish. Yeah, so like they're more like, yeah, they're not like tight schooling. I thought neon school when they feel unsafe, and when they spread out, it means they're happy and trust their environment. Yeah, like that's I don't know if that's a fact. Like it sounds exactly like a fact. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's the truth. Like I believe that. Yeah, so I think fish definitely do school tighter when they're scared. That's the truth. But yeah, what else do I say? We're gonna end the stream in like a minute, but I want to know if anyone else knows the words that I use in the videos, because I don't know what they are. I think if I watch them, it's like basically, simply. I say simply a lot. Like I say like a lot, but yeah. Yeah, I'm disconnected. One sec. Internet's bugging out again. Give it a second. Come on, internet. Thank you. I'm back. Sorry, guys. Anyways, I say anyways a lot. That's a good one. How many corridors would you recommend as a group? I do like 6. 6 is a good group. 4 or 6 or more, like a ton if you want. Hi, I just started setting my first 9-gallon tank. Put 4 guppies in after a couple of days. Anyway, had to put mids. Made the water green. How long to clear? Just watch the green water video on the channel, and that should help you out a lot, because yeah, the dog. Yeah, all right, I'll get the dog to say goodbye. Hey, you're gonna have to move anyways. Come on. Oh, come on. Oh. Here we go. Here we go. Just woke her up. Name's Scruffy. Right. I say a lot, don't I? Yeah. But yeah, I say heaps and heaps. Heaps, I say a lot. Yeah. How long have I been keeping fish? I always say that. So I say that a lot in the videos too. So I've been keeping fish basically for the last 7 years, and that's that's what I say. So 7 years. But yeah, I think we're gonna wrap this up, aren't we? All right. She's making her little wheezing noises. All right. Okay. Thank you everyone so much for watching this stream. I really do appreciate it. I say that a lot too. I really do appreciate it though. And it means a lot that your breath stinks. It means a lot that everyone comes and watches these. I can't believe that people watch these streams. So thank you so much everyone for watching. I'll see you like next Sunday sometime. I don't know what time, because it's been super, I don't know, iffy. I'll always try and give you guys a couple of hours notice so that you guys know. But hopefully I feel like next Sunday will probably be probably in the middle of the day, but maybe at the end of the day, I don't know. But really do appreciate it. So thank you everyone for watching. I'll see you guys next weekend, and hopefully you enjoy the videos this week. See ya.